asked, a friend of mine told me to load creatine with 20 milligrams a day for 4 days. Is that correct? Well, Paul, if we were in 1992, that might be correct, but since creatine came out, we've learned quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it's probably the most studied, at one time it was the most studied supplement in the history of supplements. And what they found is, of course, the blood or tissue saturation levels of creatine mean a lot more or are a bigger factor of success with your goals with creatine if you just have those saturation levels intact. It does not matter how fast you get there or whether you take it pre or post workout or a little bit throughout the day or however you want to break it up, even with sugar, without sugar. A lot of those things can make a difference in uptake, but an overall tissue level saturation, which is studied to be the only important factor, it's just not true. The best studies show that if you take 2 to 4 grams a day for somebody of average height and weight, within 30 days, your body is totally saturated. Can you get there sooner if you load? Possibly. But as soon as you reach that threshold, it's been shown that up to 70% of the creatine you ingest is urinated back out. And there are some risks with kidney stress and so forth. I wouldn't say they're big risks, but it's certainly not worth it. 70% loss with what you're ingesting. I would just take a normal baseline level, which they recommend typically about 5 grams per dose, is what you would take throughout the process. And then, as you know, it's an endogenous product. Your body makes it, and so you can get some adaptation. You want to cycle on and off of it. I always recommend for that fact a cycling down. So in other words, don't say, hey, it's been 3 months, I'm going to go off creatine now, and then just stop. I always personally, if I'm taking 5 grams a day, I would maybe for a week just take it on training days as my first step off of creatine. Then I might still do that, but cut the dose in half. And so I might take 2, 3, or 4 weeks to titrate down slowly. The thing that I think is even more important about creatine is it's just another good supplement, but it's not necessarily something that is important for the long term or what I would consider necessary, essential. Think of it this way: creatine did come out over 20 years ago. If you really did gain a couple pounds every year, or however you think success could be measured, wouldn't we all be 300 pounds of pure muscle now, those of us who've been taking it for 15 or 20 years? You can cycle on and off. It helps. There are effects. But just like anything else in the natural supplement world, it's not going to be a true long-term effect.